Okay, so part 2 for this lesson 13. Again, this is optional, but we're going to get rid of the Unix, the shell, and actually going to take out these sys arguments as well for this part. We're going to write another function called search PSU. And I guess let's just pass a user ID to it. Okay, default user ID. I'm going to write this function def search. Right, that takes some term. And what we're going to do is actually open this web page, get the contents of the web page, and then just display this text to the user within the idle command prompt. Right. So when you run search PSU and DMC1886, it's going to go open this web page, get the contents of the web page, and then only display this for the user. And so if you know nothing about HTML, this may be a little advanced. If you do understand some HTML, maybe you'll understand how this works, particularly if you understand CSS style sheets and how you select different elements within a page. So if you look at the source of this page, right, this is all the content, this is all the HTML that generates this page for the web browser. And specifically, right, here's the text that we're looking at. And here's the HTML, right? You see the name, email, phone, and the values as well, right? That's generating this part right here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to write a function that goes out and gets this page, it parses it within a module called Beautiful Soup, and then renders this text for us, right? So we're going to have to import Beautiful Soup is BS4. And we're going to import the requests module as well. Again, you don't have to type import on every line. You could do comma separated if you prefer. And we're going to do a request, right, for this page. Same page as we did in the web browser. So, and just set it equal to some variable r, and requests.get. So what it's going to do is run a web request to this page and assign the output to this value r. One of the values that r has is the text from the entire page that's been rendered here. So we're going to call BS4 Beautiful Soup r.text, right? So r.text, the r object is the request object that's been returned from this request.get. Text is the text that is returned from it, as not just the object, but specifically the text. And we're going to pass the type of parser that we want to run. So we want to run an HTML parser on this text, and we'll assign that output to the value HTML. Right, so all we're doing, right, is we're going to go out and we're getting this full page, right, for example, and we're going to assign it. We're going to assign the object r, right, to the results, and then we're going to pass the text in here to this Beautiful Soup.parser. And what the Beautiful Soup parser does is essentially allows us to access individual items within this page. So, right, this output variable is equal to this text, and it allows us to select particular items within this page. So what we're saying is actually, when you take this whole text output, right, select this item.list class. Now I know there's only one item.list class. That makes it a little bit easier on the whole page, right? Because I did a find earlier. And you'll see one of one match of the word item-list. So I'm going to select it, and I select it by HTML, right? The output text parsed .select, and I pass the class name that I'm trying to select based on. There are different selectors in, in the Automate the Boring Stuff book. They show you the different selectors that you have access to. This is how you select a specific class. And then actually what we'll do here is get the text, and we'll set it to text equals output 0 dot get text. So I'm going to also print the output, and then here print raw text, just so you can see what's happening here. And let's just run this code so we can get bring it over here. Right, so you can see this program that's being run thus far, right? It is right, outputting here is the output. Perhaps naming it output wasn't the easiest thing for the explanation. It's outputting output, but it's printing out the variable output, right? So basically it's all of this text that we selected here. And then we can just print out the raw text right in here and get that value, which is really what we want to see. Right? And so if we wanted, we could pass a different value to it, and have it print that for us. So let's say that search kind of takes a while, right? And it runs that search for us. So we could, right, make this something so the search PSU takes a variable, and whatever variable is run is passed to the search PSU function, which runs this request, passing the value that's given to it. Then it runs the response through this beautiful soup parser, and what that parser does is allow us to run commands like this, like select the particular elements within this HTML page. If you've never seen HTML or CSS, this may be a little bit quick for you. If you have seen HTML and CSS, it might come a little quicker. But anyway, then it allows you to select this text within here. You call this getText method on it, and it just outputs that text for you. And it's pretty cool because you could write that function then so that instead of getting the output that we were getting before that opens up the web browser and returns the web browser output, you could just return back, right, a simple text response, which if you're in the shell, that may be more of what you want. So anyway, thanks.